Hello everyone, welcome to the second part of this tutorial. In the first tutorial, we drafted the pattern. Please do well to watch the previous video to enable you to understand what we are doing here. Another of my clients saw the blue gown and requested I make one for her, which is the yellow one, but with a slight adjustment to the neckline to prevent her cleavage from showing. Without wasting much of your time, let's move into the tutorial properly. So these are the materials that I've cut out using this pattern, the pattern we drafted in our previous tutorial. So for the center front, I also went ahead and cut out facing. Now the length of this facing stopped exactly at the bust area, okay? Yours can be more, but to manage the fabric, mine stopped at the bust area. So the first thing I did was to go ahead and remove the pins holding my pattern and my main material, okay, so that we'll start the joining. Now after removing it, the next thing I did was to flip it to the right side. So this is the right side of my fabric and this is also the right side of my facing. So I'm going to be merging the facing and the main fabric, right side facing the right side, and I'm going to be sewing on the wrong side to hold the neckline. Okay, so go ahead and sew according to the shape of your neckline using 1/2 inch. So after sewing it, I'll come in with my scissors and notch the necessary part. Go ahead and notch all the curves and the pointed edges so that when you turn this and iron it, it will lay proper. So I came in with my scissors and carefully notched it. Make sure that while notching, you didn't cut into it, you didn't cut across the thread, okay? So go ahead and notch it, and this point that I'm notching now, also notch it very well, okay? It is very important so that when you flip over to the right side, you have it laying properly. So after notching, the next thing I did was to turn it over to the right side, okay? So go ahead and turn yours out over to the right side and use your finger to push out the pointed edges, okay? So carefully use your fingers, the tip of your fingers, to push out the tips following the shape of your neckline. All right, this thing requires patience. Carefully push out your own, and when you're done pushing it out, you take it to your ironing table and so iron that it will lay proper and look nice. Okay, so here I'm done ironing it and this is what I have it looking like. Can you see? Okay, so you can go ahead iron your own to get something like this or something better off. All right, so here I'm done ironing, as you can see. So the next thing is to go ahead and join the center side. Okay, so I have two pieces of this, okay, one for each side. So the first thing I did was to go ahead and remove my pin that joined the pattern and the main fabric. So this is what I have gone ahead to notch out my bust point and my under bust, and the next thing I'm going to be doing to this center part is to go ahead and locate the bust point and the under bust. It is very important that you join both the center fronts and the side fronts on both bust points. So I'll go ahead and locate my own and come in with my scissors and give it a proper notch so that I'll identify it while joining. Also head over to the other side and locate it also and give it a proper notch, and also go ahead and notch the under bust. This is very important because you would like to join the center front bust line to that of the sideline bust line. So after doing this and notching it, the next thing you will do is to go ahead and flip this center front to the right side like I'm doing in the video. Okay, so now you come in with one of the center side. Okay, you come in with one of these and locate the bust point and make sure that it merges with the bust point of the center front like I'm doing in the video. Okay, so use your pattern paper to trace out your bust point and your under bust on your main fabric. So that was what I used to trace out my own before notching it. So I also come to the under bust and pin it. Now the next thing you're going to do is to carefully, if you can sew it directly, you sew, but if you're still learning, you can carefully go ahead and hold it and pin it, okay, making sure that the both edge align together. So I'll carefully come in with my pins and pin my own carefully before I take it to my sewing machine to go and join it together. So whatever I'm doing to this side, that's what I'm going to be repeating on the other side. Just same thing, locate the bust point and the under bust, pin them together at the exact spot, then join the other remaining parts, making sure that the edge of the center front aligns with the edge of the center side, just like that. Okay, so just like what I'm doing in the video. Watch closely if you're confused. Okay, so it's like a curve, so just drag it and make sure that it aligns, and when you are sewing it, you make sure that it is straight while sewing. So this is what I have. So I'll head over to my sewing machine and stitch it, and when I'm done, I'll also carefully repeat the same thing on the other side. Then this is me heading over to my sewing machine to sew it, and I will show you when I'm done. So here I'm done, and this is what I have it looking like. Okay, if you notice, you will notice that the facing, I added interface to it. Also go ahead and add interface to your facing before you join. So the next thing to do is to come in with your scissors and carefully notch the under bust region. Okay, not the bust part, but the under bust region. Carefully notch it, and then head over to your ironing table and iron the stitch open on a round surface using your tailor's ham. Okay, so you carefully iron it using your tailor's ham. Don't iron on a flat surface. Then when you are done, it's now time to work on the center back. So this is what I have, and you know that while drafting this, I traced out the tip of my that this is to enable me to be able to recreate it on the main fabric. Okay, so what I will do is to come in with my tape and measure the height of the that on my pattern paper. So after measuring it, the next thing is to transfer it on my main pattern. So I'll go ahead and measure the same height, then rule a straight line, and then take out ½ inch on both sides. The curve that I have there will help me to know where my ½ inch is stop. So I'll just draw out a straight line and then go ahead and slant it like so. Can you see, following the shape of the dart that I have there? I'll go ahead and curve it. So I'm going to be repeating this on the two parts of the material. I will do this and also flip my material and repeat on the other side. So here I'm done joining my dart, and this is what I have it looking like. So what I will go ahead to do now is to go ahead and open it like so, and come in with my scissors and trace out the extra fabric at the bottom part of my fabric, because I'm done joining the dart and that thing is no longer needed. It has served its purpose. So after cutting it, the next thing I'll go ahead to do is to join the down part. But before that, I'm going to be piping the neckline with bayat. Okay, so go ahead and pipe your bayat. So I'm done piping, and this is what I have it looking like. So I'm also gonna head to iron it so that it will lay flat. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to be joining the down part to this part of the skirt. So remember I said, and while joining that, I didn't add that to the down part because of the material I'm using is stretchy. So go ahead and locate the zipper part of your skirt. Please remember we did hip contour, so it is very important that you join the right side. Okay, so this is what I have. I've gone ahead to measure it right side facing the right side like I'm doing in the video, and I'm going to be joining it with ½ inch. I'll also go ahead and repeat it on the other side of the back side and show you. All right. One thing to make sure here is that you join the zipper side of the upper side to the zipper side of the lower side. Okay, so go ahead and check yours and ensure that the zipper side aligns. So I'm going to be joining it like so and stitch with ½ inch. And after stitching, the next thing, just like I told you, my material is very stretchy, so there is no need, I'm not adding any dart. So I will just go ahead and stitch mine. But if your material is not stretchy, you go ahead and take your dart intake before you join the upper part and the lower part. Okay, so I'll head over to my machine and join it. Now coming over to the front side, I'll also repeat the same thing. What I'll do is to go ahead and fold my material like so and take the middle part and get the midpoint. Okay, so I'll be joining the midpoint of the upper part to the midpoint of the lower part so that it will be equally distributed on both sides, so that it will be equal on both sides. So this is what I'm going to do. I'll just place the midpoint of the lower part and also go ahead and join it with ½ inch. The next thing I will do after joining them with ½ inch is to go ahead and bring in the two back pieces together. So I'll make sure that the neckline align and also make sure that the half length of both of them aligns together. So I'll go ahead and pin it. Okay, so the next thing now is to go ahead and fix the zipper. So here with me, this is the zipper I'm going to be using for this dress. So what I did was to use my zipper to mark where I want my zip to stop. Okay, so I want it to stop just a bit before my hip point. Okay, because of the length of the zipper I'm working with, so that's where I want it to stop. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is the area below where I've marked, I'm going to be closing it. Okay, so what I will do first is to go ahead and mark out my 1 inch. Can you see what I'm doing? Because we did hip curve, you don't want to take in more or take in less. So I'll go ahead and mark out my 1 inch, and then I'm going to be stitching it. Okay, so but this dress is going to be having a slit, so I'm going to be marking the area that will be open. So what you would do is from the down part of your dress, you can come up by 9-10 inches depending on how open you want it to be. So for me, I went ahead and marked my 9 inches. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be stitching from this point to the next point that I have. Okay, so in between the 2 points I have, I'm going to be stitching it following the curve. All right, here I'm done stitching. So what I will go ahead to do is to go ahead, and I'm done stitching as you can see. So what I will go ahead to do now is to go ahead and also mark out my 1 inch at the top where I'm attaching my zipper. It is very important that you take your time to mark out, because you wouldn't want to spoil the hip contour that you've already done, because you don't want to take in more or less. So just take your time and mark out your 1 inch. So after marking my 1 inch, I'll go ahead and roll it into a straight line. Okay, so I'll carefully turn over to the other side also and repeat the same thing. I'll go ahead and mark out the same 1 inch, because I want to fix this zipper on this 1 inch so that I'll get a perfect fit. So I'll also go ahead and mark it out like this. So following the line that you've already marked out, you're going to be fixing your zipper. Okay, so just follow your line and fix your zipper. Here I'm done fixing my zipper, and this is what it looks like. Can you see that my both half length merged together? Okay, so make sure that yours also merge together. Don't make one lower or the other one higher. So this is what I have it looking like. So we are almost done with this. So what I'm going to be doing now is to be bringing in the front part, and you're going to be measuring it shoulder to shoulder. So you're going to be stitching the shoulder part with 1/2 inch on both sides. Now you're also going to be marking out the 2 inches that we use while drafting it. So I've gone ahead to take my time and mark out my own. So what I'll do is to hold it at the shoulder with 1/2 inch, and also go ahead to stitch in this side with the 2 inch allowance that we give. Okay, so here I'm done, and this is how we are having it. So the next thing now is to attach the sleeve. Okay, so we are done with this. We are going to be working on the down part later and the slit opening later. So the next thing now is to attach the slit. So here with me I have a basic sleeve. All right, so I'll be dropping another tutorial on how to make a basic sleeve. So this is my basic sleeve, is shorter than my full length by 5 inches. So I reduced it because this dress that we're trying to recreate has a flay or pleat at the down part of each sleeve, and this is what I'm going to be using for the sleeve part. The down part of the sleeve, it measures 7 inches because I'm going to be folding it. Remember I said I reduced my sleeve by 5 inches, but what I have here is 7 inches. Remember, I'm going to be joining it with 1/2 inch on the top, then again I'm going to be folding it in. So for the pleating, this is how I achieved my. Go ahead and take your time and pleat it. You can go ahead and mark out 1 inch in between to make it to be even, but this is how I did my own. So I took my time and folded it like so and held it with pin before heading over to my sewing machine to stitch on the top using 1/2 inches. So this is it. So go ahead and do yours till the end. So after reaching here, I headed over to my sewing machine and continued the pleating while sewing. So after pleating and everything, this is what I have it looking like. Okay, so I have it looking like so. So you're going to be bringing in the sleeve that you've already cut, and you're going to be measuring it right side facing the right side, and you stitch it with 1/2 inches. Okay, so after stitching, this is what we have it looking like. So this is it. This is how we have it. Okay, so I'm done stitching, attaching with 1/2 inch like I told you. So this is it where I stitch it with 1/2 inch. So the next thing you're going to do now is, since you're done stitching it, you're going to be closing it. This is it. I've stitched with 1/2 inch, so you're going to be flipping it like so, and you're going to be stitching it with 1/2 inch or 1 inch depending on the allowance you give while drafting your sleeve. So I'll go ahead and hold it and then attach it to my main fabric. So I'll go ahead and mark it out and then stitch it using the allowance I gave it 1 inch allowance while sewing. I also go ahead and repeat the same thing on the other part of the sleeve, then I will attach it to my main dress. So after attaching, also go ahead and hem the down part of your dress. So after everything, this is what I have it looking like. So beautiful. Please do well to follow us, like, share, comment, and see you in the next tutorial.